Okay, so today I'm going to take you around the day in the life of a property investor. And we're going to be meeting with my business partner today, James Armstrong, and talking about some of the projects that we've sourced and also where we're up to with some of our own personal projects. So at the minute, we're doing a couple of commercial to residential projects. So we're going to see where they're up to, when we're going to start building work on them. There's been some delays with them because of coronavirus, so we'll be talking about that and how it's impacted us. And we're also going to be talking about the relaxed planning regulations and how this is going to affect us going forward and how we're going to be focusing on commercial to residential projects going forward. So let's go on and go and get James. Now, I'm actually in a different car today because I had a bit of an accident in my Audi. So I have this lovely hire car, but do you know what? At the end of the day, the insurance is going to look after my car. So this runs quite well. So let's go meet James. Okay, so we're just about pulling up to the train station now. Hopefully James is there. Quite looking forward to catching up with him today. It's been a while since we've had a business meeting, so it'd be great to see where all our projects are up to. Let's see. Okay, he's there. Let's pull in and go and grab him. Hey man, how's it going?
It's good. Seeing you in this, mate, is too much. It's too much. You're in the bike rack and everything. Oh, bro, man.
How's it going?
It's going well, bro.
Good,
It's going well.
good.
This mask shit's all bullshit, you know. Like, I haven't worn one once. No one gives a fuck.
I think this whole coronavirus thing for me, that the most thing it's highlighted to me is, like I said to you the other week on the phone, is how am I spending my time versus what it's making me. And everything's not about money, it's not always about money, but it's in terms of, you know, I need to value what my time is doing for me. You know, because I can't even count on my hands the amount of days that I've used or wasted or done something with that I've got nothing to show for. You know, and it's you know, so everything I do now, I'm weighing up my time versus what it's going to make me. One of the things I want to talk about today is these relaxed planning rules on commercial to residential, because I think with the skills that we've got with the projects that we've done so far for people and the things that we're doing, we've now got the right power team in place to absolutely clean up with that.
Yep.
You know, and I've been looking at where the best opportunities for it, because let's face it, everybody is going to go after this opportunity. Everybody's going to go after the opportunity of commercial to residential, and we need to find somewhere that's niche. We need to find buildings in places that not everybody's going for. It's back to the same old adage: if everybody's focusing here with Manchester, you want to focus down here. You know, so we need to be looking for an area that suits that. They haven't announced the paper of what it's going to look like yet.
The only thing I know is you were likely to be able to do 2-story extensions on a house with a living development.
So they're relaxing the rules for commercial to residential, basically.
Extending prior approval.
Yeah, so what it actually is, basically all we know at the minute is that they're relaxing the rules to make it easier for developers to do commercial to residential, because what they're obviously, I assume what they're looking at is that there's going to be an influx of office buildings, shops that will become vacant as a result of this.
Yeah.
I imagine, you know, like developers that we know already, if they take these buildings in town centres like this one
And develop it into apartments, you've got people here that
it
need...
drives footfall,
It
which
does.
then keeps places like this in business.
And equally, developers, I'd say pay a lot of tax. Development in any country, whether it's infrastructure or private development for housing, massively stimulates the economy. Look at the 1929 crash. What happened in 1930? The Hoover Dam was built. It's still one of the biggest dams in the world today. I think it might even be the biggest. I know it's huge, massive technological feat. Incredible. They did that to kickstart the economy because it employed thousands upon thousands of people. And although the government obviously uses debt to pay for it, it doesn't really matter. And ultimately, we can't decide what the government's going to do anyway. So we may as well just make use of the stuff that's coming along. You know, so when, like for example, we were saying about coronavirus. It's here. What the hell? Stop complaining about why or who made it or all the rest of it. It's here, man. Just deal with what's here.
I think that's it, isn't it? You know, times are changing. The government are changing what they're doing things. So why complain about what they're doing? Instead, let's take advantage of what they're doing, use it to help us and to help other people. You know, at the end of the day, my goal has always still been to put more houses on the market. And if that's now through commercial to residential, then that's the way I'll go.
Yeah, the method, the outcome is the same, which is what matters. The method can be adapted on a daily basis. Like times are always going to be changing. Hey, in 10 years' time, I don't think we're going to be doing rent to buy from finance. We'll be doing some other strategy that no one's even thought of until then. Or it'd be a slight take on it. Like BRRs were around.
I think BRRR is probably the only strategy that would stand the test of time.
Yeah, I agree with you there.
Because you know, if you think about it, most of the properties we're picking up
buy to let, obviously.
Well, obviously buy to let, you know, it's bread and butter, isn't it? But by refurbs, the properties we're picking up now are properties that are, you know, in bad condition or derelict or vacant from 10 years ago. In 10 years' time, we're going to have the same types of properties.
It could even be some of the ones that we've refurbed.
Exactly, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? They'll be in need of refurbishment. Like, do you know how many big HMOs I'm seeing on the market that are in need of refurb? Because, I mean, we know, just in the last 2 years, the standard of HMOs, I would say, is double. Like, in terms of what, and I'm not talking about en-suites here. A lot of people say en-suites are essential. I don't think they're that far yet. Some cities I would go that far, but other cities I think it's better if you have them. And in 5 years' time, I think probably will just need en-suites. But right now, like, the standard is better. Like, you need featurables.
Yeah.
You need decent furniture. You need a clean, modern look. So whites and greys and neutral colours that make it look good. You don't want magnolia walls that are a bit like wobbly. You know what I mean? If they need skimming, they need skimming. That's the world we're living in now. You can't have flat pack kitchens and HMOs anymore. They don't rent the same way.
But the thing is, I mean, look at rent to serviced accommodation, for example, or serviced accommodation in general. You know, 2 years ago we put our first serviced accommodation on the market, and the standards have changed. Okay, so a couple of things I want to go through before we go off to this development viewing.
Please tell me at some point what the development is.
Can you
add that to your list?
I was going to talk about it.
Okay,
it's a really nice one, actually. So the council are selling this building we're going to see.
Oh, I like that.
And I suspect the price that the council want is a little bit expensive, but we'll see, we'll work it out. So there's a big old building that was used as, I believe, a care home. So the planning permission that's been put through, it's got full planning permission already on it, is to knock down part of the extended building on the main building that's on the land, and then turn that into a residential unit, and then to build 4 more residential units on the site. Now the council, what they want to do with it is they'll knock down the building and you can buy that one building and develop it, and then they'll sell off the rest of the plot separately, or you can buy one of the plots separately, or you can just buy the whole thing.
Presumably you want to buy the whole thing.
I want to buy the whole thing, yeah. So the Blackpool development that we talked about the other week, where we need to get the virtual valuation with it first.
Yeah.
I've just had the details through from the person we need to ring to get the virtual valuation. So I'll ring them this afternoon and we'll get that booked in, because then that's going to give us confirmed GDVN values for each of the properties and know whether it completely stacks. Because if you remember, I went through the deal, it stacks really nicely, it's got a great profit margin on the end of it, but we just wanted some guarantee about what the end value is going to be.
The other thing was the build cost I wanted to raise with you. So the guy who owns it was going to build it. I think they basically found the deal with the cash out of it, but they did have a quote through for the works, and it was like 3 times what they thought it was going to be. So when I was on the phone with him, and he didn't tell me what the build was. I said, how many units you build? And I can't remember what it was. And I basically multiplied it through an average sort of build, and he went, that's exactly what we thought it was going to be. And he'd actually calculated it, which was good news for me. The estimation was right. And he said, but it came back like 300 or 400k more or something. I think, to be honest, the builder's just mugging him off.
What? Build per square footage, conversion per square
Honestly,
footage?
I cannot remember a single thing about it, mate. It was on the phone when I did all the conversation with it.
I think we've estimated 40 per square footage.
See, that's the same that coming back at.
I was just going to say, this is, so obviously speaking to David, this is directly in relation to, because that's a conversion and we're using their conversion prices for our estimate on this.
And that's got asbestos removed.
Because it's a similar type of building.
That's full kit out, it's full back to brick, there's some structural work in there as well, there's some beams going in, so it's like, it cannot possibly be more than 45.
Okay, what I'll do is, I'll get the virtual valuations back, so we know what the end values of the units are going to be, and I'll send a builder in after, if they come back where we want them to, in terms of end values, which I know they will, if they do, then we'll send a builder in and we'll get confirms on build cost, but it's going to be a good project.
I've got a PM in Blackpool, come and chat with him.
Yeah, ping me the details across. Next thing on the agenda is the elusive PG. So,
Chris asked me about that
what did he say?
2 days ago.
Yeah. So, still waiting for things to go through. I've asked David to send me the details across for the person who he's chasing it with at the council, because I want to start chasing it myself.
They're taking time.
I get it totally.
I don't.
Well, I do, because I got off the phone with Ricky yesterday. So Ricky's doing a project, and he's had the exact same situation with me, and I word for word told him what the problem he was having. So he said, "Oh, I'm having a bit of a problem at the minute with the planning," and I was like, "Let me guess, you sent everything across, and then the planning have come back to you and said they're missing stuff." And he went, "Yeah, exactly." So David told me it's a legitimate tactic that they use to stall, you know, so they'll keep asking for information that they've already had just to give them time, because David thinks they're rushed off their feet.
The thing is, the council were already on demand,
Yeah.
like every department, right? The council in general, not the planning, the council. And then with all the coronavirus, the government have gone, it's all right, the council will do this, they'll do that, they'll do the other, and the council like, with what man force? And now 50% are on furlough. It's like, we've got half as many people and we've got twice as much work.
This is
There's no way in
it.
hell they
This
can
is
push
it.
this through.
There's just not enough people out there to do the work, and I think this is the problem we're having with PG. Most of them are still on furlough. There's just not enough people around to do what we need.
On the PG front, by the way, I've got a plan B, and I think this will work. If we get to the point we have to complete, we haven't got planning back, we just buy it.
Yeah.
We raise finance, we buy it. If planning falls over, we get it again. We just keep going until we've got planning. Worst case, we have to sell it with a planning gain, and we know we can do that.
We will make money if we sell it as a planning gain.
I don't want to do it, but there's a plan B.
It'll just break my heart, you know, if that's what we have to do with it.
Agreed, but we'll get paid sooner, so I think that'll help ease the pain.
Thing is, though, you've got to look at it in perspective of, we went to view that May of last year, so May 2019.
August.
Well, May we found it, August 2019 went to view it, so we're now nearly August 2020 and we still haven't.
Yeah.
But then,
But I couldn't care less because I've got legal exclusivity on it, so we can do.
for example,
We don't have legal on that.
when did we view?
I think that was like August or something, wasn't it? We need to speak to August.
We viewed May, you know.
I think we did.
So, and we still, well, obviously we're completing on that next Wednesday.
Friday.
That's
Friday.
Well, I was going to say that was Friday. Sorry. So we complete on that next Friday. That's keys in hand. That's full completion. And then we've got to go and get the refurb money, or have we got the refurb money to go now?
Should have it by Friday.
Okay. Because I know we're completing on cash and then bridging for the refurb.
It won't really make any difference, to be honest with you. Like, worst case, we have a week's worth of delay waiting for the money to come through.
So, obviously spoke with Christopher yesterday about it. He, I know we're waiting to speak to Daniel as well in terms of builds, but I kind of need to give them some times in terms of builds. So we need to know where we're going with that and when we expect the build to start on it. Because if we get finance next week, there's no reason why build can't start the week after.
Abby's saw it, man.
Well, I've sent everything across for that today.
Sweet.
There's no issues with that as far as I'm concerned. Very happy that's going to be a nice little property. One last one I want to talk to you about is this land in Stafford. So I know it's dead because he wants too much for it. It seems to be the thing that's happening at the minute is people want too much for the land and it's not making any money.
It'll change.
Of course it will. Like you said yesterday, it's a seller's market at the minute.
Yeah, and what's funny though is you can't sell land to anybody other than a developer, right? What do developers want? Profit. There's no way, unless you sell it to someone who doesn't know what they're doing, which to be honest in land deals is kind of unlikely because the risk is high and they get vetted so harshly by the lending, right? He's not going to sell it for 140. I think, and honestly, I would recommend he does this. I just say to him, look, man, at 140, it doesn't work for anybody who's going to buy this. You might find a mug that'll pay for it, but honestly, the best thing you can do is do it yourself.
So what we need to do is we'll send him all of our figures. You know, we'll send him everything and just be like, here's the line in the sand. This is where it works. And see if we can come to some kind of negotiation with him. But we'll
It's
see.
like pitching a lease option, though, isn't it? like sometimes you just gotta let it sit for months before like they come around to it. Like I say, like you're only gonna sell it to a developer unless you come and unless he finds a mug who's gonna overpay for it. No one's gonna pay 140 for it. So the market's gonna fall next year, which means the GDVs will fall, means the value of his land's gonna fall, and he'll know he won't be able to sell it. So then he has a choice. He can either take a big cut on it, he can do it himself, or he can wait until the market picks up again. But he's gonna have to wait for the market to pick up back in Stafford Mind above what it was before. He's gonna have to get the GDV to like over 850 if he wants 140 for the club.
Well, he's been trying to sell this land since last year.
Yeah, right. He wants to.
And then he took it off the market completely. And obviously, I found it off market and contacted him. But we'll.
No, he's a good guy. I think he might want too much for it, but he's not an unreasonable bloke.
No,
do you know what I mean?
No,
like sometimes
he gets it. I think he thinks that he can build it for less than we can build it for,
which is fair enough.
And I think that's why he thinks that 140 is acceptable for it. Which is why I think it's really important that we present to him our figures.
If he can get me a building that's less,
then we'll take it.
Exactly.
You know, I'm not.
I'd want it fixed though.
Yeah.
If it's his, if otherwise I don't know if the quote's legit. You know what I mean? Or fixed plus 5% at fixed price, then I'd take it for the reduced risk. Do you know what I mean? You get the building extra 5% and then call it fixed price.
Yeah.
So some things will have to come out of that, like highways, you never know what they're going to be, things like that, services.
But we do though, we know what the price of the highways is.
Right, and services then you don't really know.
Services,
so it's fixed price plus some things.
It would be fixed price on the build.
Exactly.
Is what I'd expect, especially on a new build project, because we would expect that with it.
Yeah, and to be fair, like you kind of know what everything's going to cost because, like it's not the thing. Oh, we don't know what we're going to find. Like it's land, mate. It's grass below it's dirt. That's what you're going to find.
Exactly. Well, he's had all the surveys done on the land because they were ready to build on it.
Yeah.
In terms of the other projects we've got going on, I just need to know when they're going to finish, because obviously the 2 in Accrington, the 3 in Accrington,
right, Mercer Street is being refinanced the 4th of August.
Are going to be finished soon. So I should be going up to Tennyson on Sunday.
You know as much as I do about Tennyson.
Yeah, well, that should be going up on Sunday. It should be done on Sunday. Or it'll be done enough, it'll be snagging, so it'll be done enough for me to take a video and to get up there. With, can I get into Mercer on Sunday?
Yeah.
Right, let's crack on and go see this development.
I'm getting a car for a weekend from the dealership for me to test drive.
Oh, okay.
In the next couple of weeks. I will take it to PG.
Okay.
Because I'll meet you there, because I know what you're like.
Yeah, I'm not ever
No, I know.
with you in the car again.
I want to drive it anyway, bro. I want to razz it through the through Snowdonia.
You killed me. When we stopped off in that village,
You were dying.
I was contemplating walking home.
Yeah,
honestly, I'm not.
You're like, can I get a train?
I'm not even gonna lie to you. I was just gonna walk home.
Yeah.
100 miles, quite would have happily walked home.
Not that bad. If you had your bike, you could have done it.
For those that you don't know, James is a terrible driver. terrible driver. So he drives too fast, and my stomach does not like it. So
Your stomach doesn't like being in the passenger seat of anybody's car.
It was I was dying. I was kissing the floor because I wanted to get out of the car so badly and just lie on the floor somewhere.
So hypocritical.
So tell me a little bit about the social media people that you're looking to employ at the minute.
I'll be honest, I don't want to be their boss. I don't want to employ anyone. I want to be a client. Side note, I'm getting on a daily basis now pissed off that people cannot sell. Like, I just want to pay people some money. Why is it so damn difficult? Ugh! Even my car was hard to buy. Jeez, I walked in, I was like, take my money off me, and they said, no, you'll do over email.
So, what do you want a social media person to be doing for you?
3 Instagram stories a day, Instagram posts daily, 3 LinkedIn posts a week, YouTube video once a week, and Facebook just has micro content off the back of everything else.
And how much are you looking to pay somebody to do that?
As much as it costs to have that done, if I'm brutally honest with you. Obviously, I'm not going to overpay market value, but...
And what's the goal?
Drive people to the list. I want 10 people a day
So
once it's up and running.
you're not interested if they're not growing growing your Instagram
I mean, if my followers
audience,
don't go up, my list goes up. I couldn't care less.
as long as they drive to your list.
Yeah, because that's where I get the value from. My value is not in my followers. The followers in itself is a list. Because obviously, if you post and you've got 12,000 followers, in theory, 12,000 people are going to see it. Same way you got 1,000 people on your email list. You send an email out, 1,000 people are going to see it.
So, okay, in terms of the content that they're going to be putting out for you, are you going to dictate this, or are you going to just ask them to use their own initiative?
I would hope that anybody who's good at social media would know what needs to be posted. Like, I don't have a clue about social media, so I can't say this is how it needs to be done. Do you know what I mean? That's why I want to be someone's client, not someone's boss.
So you're going to get somebody to post at that level that you need, you're going to be reliant upon somebody that's got background knowledge of property.
You think?
Well,
surely you can do research online to see what works.
but then that's time and money for you. So
I would argue that's people's expertise.
I don't know. Okay, here's the thing. For me, here's how I look at it. If you're paying somebody to do your social media, you're paying somebody to post stories for you. They need content to post the stories, you know. And if the purpose of the post is to engage people, so the purpose of the story is to engage people, to take more of an interest in you, to find out more about what you're doing, whether that be to join your list, whether that be to go to your website, whether that be to even just pick up the phone and give you a call. You know, there's got to be some kind of call to action, or you know, an engagement piece with every single story
Yes.
you do. So then that is going to be either somebody following your day-to-day activities and literally just following you around with whatever you're doing, you know. And,
Yeah, me or my people, yeah.
but then on top of that as well, if you know, that's a lot of extra cost for somebody to follow you around. If someone's not following you around, then they have zero content, because the only content they're going to have is things that you send them. So it might be you know, you physically go to view some properties, or you're on the train for a business meeting or something, and you take a picture, take a video of what you're doing, ping it across to them, and then they create some content out of it. But without that content, they don't have anything. Does that make sense?
It makes perfect sense, yeah.
I mean, if you look at some of the people that we follow on Instagram and follow on Facebook, you know, most of the content that they're putting out is constant engagement piece. I mean, prime example, Tej Talks. You know, every single one of his posts that we see is him talking. You know, and it's an engagement piece. And then on top of that as well, so you know, all the posts he's putting out will promote you to go to his podcast. They'll promote you to engage with him. And then on top of that as well, his other posts that he puts out are about the projects he's then doing. So then that's a different driver to focus with you. So he's creating his own content. He's creating his own content to put forward. So if you're looking for somebody to do it for you, then I think you're going to need to provide them with the content. So what did you think to that then?
Well, if we estimate figures, that's kind of the best way of looking at it. I mean, they want 550. Let's assume it goes at 550, because you know what we're saying, council bids, it's sealed bids until September. Like, the only thing that might help us is, you can put a bid in and then pull it out, can't you?
I would have thought so.
The market is not going to be this hot in September. I refuse to believe it's going to be that hot. So I think a lot of people will begin to see that the boom fall out of it Because if you're inexperienced enough to not ask about asbestos, you're going to be inexperienced enough to just follow what the market's thinking and not really think ahead about, hey, how long is it going to take to build 4 houses plus demo and renovation, you know, plus the paperwork up front to get it done. What, 2 months to buy it full speed? We'll drag it out a bit so we can miss most of the fall. And then what, 12-month projects?
So yeah, I mean, for what it is, it's a 12-month project, absolutely. I think it's a great house, great area, great location, and because of where it is, it will fetch a premium price as well.
Yeah, it's a really nice street. And to see that house on there for what, 495? It's a 4-story, you know, it's a 5-bed house or whatever. I mean, it's nice, but it's not like mint and brand new inside. So that will kind of say your ceiling price of the street is about 600 for a really big property. So I'd be really interested to know what those new builds went for.
Yes, we'll have a look at that.
Because they're going to be the same as what we're doing.
So I suspect end value on the main house, once it's done, is probably going to be in excess of 500,000.
Easy.
And then the new builds, obviously we need to work out what they're going to come in at. The refurb on the main house, I don't think is going to be as expensive as you think. So
me neither.
We looked at that first area in the house, the round, the round sort of like bay part.
I think there's no issues. It's mainly fit out.
Exactly. There's no moving any walls on it or anything. It's
It's the ensuite.
It depends on the roof. You may find with that flat roof as well, and then obviously the actual roof itself, where then gutter into pitch, probably maybe 5 grand, 6 grand top of the roof.
If you, I was just talking about the pointy bits, the slate stuff.
Yeah.
2k to scaffold. Well, it's going to grand in scaffolding because you'll scaffold the whole place pretty much, won't you? It's just easier, or half of it anyway. You've got some flashing, maybe a bit of sarcasm felt that needs going down. Then you want to replace the flat roofs. That big flat roof will probably cost you about 5k. Flashing and scaffolding, I can't see you spending more than 2 grand on that main roof. I just can't see it happening. So what are we on about?
I don't know. I think you're probably looking more 5 on that main roof.
Right.
It's a big roof, yeah.
But it doesn't all need doing.
I know, but you think in terms of getting up to a 2 up, 2 down, you're spending 5 grand on it. So that roof there.
What, to redo the whole thing?
To redo the whole thing, yeah.
I disagree. Tina gave me a quote with 3 grand to re-felt and re-slate an entire 2-bed terrace.
I think 5 grand's more realistic. You're talking about Burnley. Don't forget where we are right now.
But we're not also going to re-slate the whole thing. It doesn't need doing.
No, I know, but prices here are more expensive. So I think you'd need to budget 5 grand for it. I absolutely do.
I mean, we could spec it our normal prices and just put a 30% premium on it for the area. At the end, that might be easy to do.
So, I mean, price-wise, you know, let's work the refurb out. There's no point worrying about that now. It's just a case of what we actually thought of the unit. So the house itself has got huge potential.
Yeah, and total refurb would be less than 100k.
Of course it would, yeah. And I think you could spec that to an absolutely high spec to fetch top-end value in the area.
It's got character, man. We can keep that staircase as well.
See, I know they said to us about they'd had other people talking about moving that staircase up into the attic. I don't think it's in a bad place.
Where are you going to put it?
I don't know. I don't think it really. I know it goes into that cupboard in that one room, but that cupboard's not really doing any justice anyway.
I agree. Where are you going to put it? Without spending huge sums of money, because you've got a big like open double-story entrance hall, which I think is beautiful, by the way. It's a bit of a waste of space in some respects, but it's stunning and it's nice. And when you walk into a house with a double height entrance, it screams value. And to move that staircase, the only sensible place to put it would be like on the side of the house, so you can use the whole floor, like usable space of the place, or to move it back a bit so you can open up a landing a bit. But then you've got to put steels in. You're going to have to rejig the landing.
The thing is, there's no point because it's in a conservation area, and the planning already stipulates that you absolutely cannot turn it into apartments or a HMO.
The refurb will be less than 100 grand, including like a nice kitchen, including en suites, including like a decent bathroom, like just. The flooring doesn't need to be insane. Like, we can make it look really nice and fetch a higher value without actually going over the top on some of the spec. You know, like the paint that we normally use will be good enough.
Yeah, I think
build cost in this area, what would you say it was? Like 140, 145 a square metre?
For build?
Square foot rather. No, square metre.
Per square foot, about 135, 140 top end. Depends what
spec though.
Depends what you're building. So that's going to be mid to premium end, the new build houses. So I would have thought 135 build cost in the area per square foot. So if
do you reckon that's what those ones on the end were built for?
The thing is, them ones on the end are really good because they leave us with a really good comparable. Because what I can do is obviously we've got full drawings for all of this, so we know exactly the square footage of the property. I suspect they're 4 beds. I don't know off the top of my head, I can't remember what they come out at, but I suspect they're 4 beds, which they're probably 124 square meterage. So then you're looking at building at £1,400 per square metre.
Yeah.
So what's that coming at? 120, call it 125 square metre properties times by 1,400 build cost.
Well, 75k build. I think 200 is probably a fair place to place them at 200 grand a build.
So if you place them at 200, so 200, so that's 600 grand for the builds, plus your 60 grand ish demolition cost, plus 100 grand on the house itself. So that's your absolute,
760.
that's your top end.
What about driveways?
That you'll get that all in with that, you know, isn't it? Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so then all your professional fees associated with it, that's what, 15%? I can't remember what it is. Like, we haven't got to do planning, have we? What
just work that out as crude. Just work that out as very crude figures. So
right, 760 was the total of the figure.
760 plus 550 purchase.
12, 13, 10.
So 1.3.
Yeah.
Call it 1.4,
yeah,
just for the sake of doing it.
Yeah.
And then you're going to end up with a house that's worth 500,000. So deduct backwards 500,000, and then
900.
Let's say the houses are worth 360 a piece.
Why don't you pick a horrible number? 360 times 3 is 9, 10, 8, 1.08.
So 1.6.
I'm going to round it.
You're talking 1.6 you'll sell it for then. So there's 300 grand profit in there. No, 200 grand profit in there.
Not enough, but I think you'll get more than 360 on that street for those 4 beds.
I agree.
I think you'll easily clean 400 a piece. And we'll know when we look at those sold comparables for the new builds, and they'll be new, so they charge a 10% premium. Do you know my only concern with this deal?
What?
When it exits. I really want to be selling at the end of 2021. If we were starting the buy process in Jan 2021, I feel way more comfortable. Or maybe second quarter of 2021 would be best. Last thing you want to do is start a development at the top of the market and sell at the bottom of the market.
The thing is, it's got huge potential, but like everything we're looking at the minute, it's just tight, isn't it?
I mean, you could buy it and sit on it for a year and then do it. It's just a bit of a terrible way of using your money. But I mean, yeah, so let's clarify some end values, which we can do the minute we stop. Bang on right move and so look at them new build prices. It'd be good to get a better figure for the build cost per square foot, and then we'll run it through the iPad. See what that comes out at.
I think it's going to be tight.
It's tight as well. I think 550 is a lot.
I think 550 is too much. So
120 grand for the land.
What did we say? 1.6 million it's going to be worth.
I think more than that.
Okay, let's say 1.6. Just what's 25% of 1.6?
400k.
So 1.2. Do you know what? We're not a million miles away from what we're looking to do.
Yeah. If I'm honest, I think your comparables. I mean, we'll have a look because we're just brainstorming it. I reckon you'll get 600 for that big house.
I think
And I
you're
think
right.
you'll get 450 for the others.
I think the thing is, the good thing about the area is that
It is a premium area.
it's a premium area, and what it will do is it will target people that don't want to move out from the area but want to upgrade their house.
Yeah.
You know,
So he loves the area but wants a bigger house.
the only downside to it is it's going to be a 5-bedroom property. It was 5, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's going to be a 5-bedroom property, but you're going to have an ensuite in three
of the rooms. 3 of the rooms with a downstairs bathroom and a family bathroom on the middle floor.
And then downstairs you're going to have a huge kitchen dining area, like absolutely ginormous.
Open plan, which is the modern style.
And then also a study as well.
Yeah.
And then the thing is with the garden area, once we deal with what needs to go on in the garden, you're going to have a lovely garden area as well. You know.
It might be possible to put a bit of decking out there.
Well, that's what I was thinking. Did you see the one across the way that had the decking?
Yeah. That'd be nice. Little seating area, just a decent bit of landscaping. Without spending thousands would be a good idea. Right, sir.
Cool, dude. Thank you so much. It's been a great day.
It's been an absolute pleasure.
We'll catch up about some of the things we talked about, and we'll have another meeting soon. Guys, I hope you've enjoyed following me around today and you've enjoyed seeing the things that I get up to on a day-to-day basis. Super stoked about the viewing we went to today. Really great property, and I'm looking forward to working the numbers out. And also great to just catch up with James and have some clarity about the deals we're doing and what we're looking to do moving forward. If you found the video useful, please drop me some comments below and let me know what you liked about the video, or if you've got some feedback on how I can make them better going forward, please let me know, because I'd love to keep sharing my journey with you, and hopefully my journey can help inspire you guys to also go out and to do amazing things. So stay tuned, subscribe to the channel, watch out for the next videos, make sure you drop some comments below and give the video a like, and I'll see you all soon.